Hello everyone. Today I like to discuss Elon Musk's possible role in politics, especially because he came out with his mental health condition, which is Asperger's syndrome. Now, he announced this in 2021 in an episode of the Saturday Night Live, and from this point on, it is very easy to predict what he will perform in politics. Why? Because whenever someone has a psychological problem, which is an emotional deficit, it is a discomfort. And unfortunately, to counter this discomfort, the whole personality, the whole personality gets organized around this psychological problem, and actually it shapes the whole character. Now, what is Asperger's syndrome? It is very odd because it seems that psychologists do not really understand the depth of these emotional problem. The definition is that it is the lack of understanding social behavior that leads to awkward situations. Now, Musk had been bullied in his school years, probably because he just didn't understand the dynamics of any social interactions, and it led to violent conflicts. Now, unfortunately, the Asperger's syndrome is also characterized by the lack of feeling loved, which leads to a problem, namely the individual cannot feel that personally they can grow. They feel emotionally the lack of growth. Therefore, they try to direct their energies into many intellectual exercises which they believe they can still enjoy growth. Now, this is why he works long hours a week, 70-80 hours a week, which is quite a lot. Now, this amplifies their intellectual exercises. They try to amplify everything they do, and because of this amplification, it is also easy to recognize that Musk seems to have escapism problem as well, which is when an individual faces a difficult situation, they direct their thoughts to something more joyful, more easier, that is easier to process emotionally. They don't have to face the tough questions of any situations. Now, I will go through all these. And finally, I mentioned that with Asperger's syndrome, the individual lacks basic trust towards people, and these individuals may also suffer from sudden anger outbursts. They are all present in Musk's life. Now let's go through it. First, amplification of any intellectual exercises. Well, Musk had a double major when he went to university. He has a bachelor degrees in physics and in economics, which is fine. He got entry to a PhD course. Now, I will talk about later what a PhD means in a separate video. And the PhD, well, the joke says PhD stands for permanent head damage, because teachers are not really prepared to explain what they expect from a student in a PhD thesis. And Musk gave up his PhD courses quite early. Probably he faced the difficulty and he just went somewhere else. Now, coming back to Asperger's, amplification and the lack of emotional growth. Well, we can understand why he has 12 children from 2 wives, or maybe he has 13 children. I'm not so sure about this, but it is again a sign of amplifying his character, so he might feel grouse. But unfortunately, because he cannot spend time with the children due to long working hours, this creates an even larger deficit. So this is the drama. It's a tragedy for him. It's easy to say. Going back to escapism, I will talk about the symptoms of Asperger's later too, but let's discuss escapism, how it manifests in Musk's life. Well, escapism can also create large intellectual capacity. There are examples for escapism. Probably Jacinda Ardern is the best. She is smart, no one can deny that, but she tries to find the easier way in life all the time. She resigned when she faced coming and looming election defeat. Now, however, they can sense the future quite precisely, and maybe this is the reason why Musk became quite rich. He sensed what businesses would profit him personally. But main thing is that they don't want to face difficult questions. The other thing, because they tend to focus on the positives, they also believe that the positive world is the real world. They deceive themselves, and because they believe what they say, it is deceptive for their environment too. Now, in Musk's life, either when we talk about Tesla, SpaceX, he never delivered any promises on time. However, he could create a credible myth around the projects what he was engaged in, and that was enough to drive stock prices sky high. Eventually, with his workaholic mentality, he achieved results, later with a delay, and that was enough to become quite rich. Well, actually, he didn't really invent anything. Electronic payments, PayPal, were from another company. Electric cars were invented 1 century before he invested in Tesla. So no, he's not an inventor. He is just putting large energies into developing existing things, and we can see the results. Well, mark my words, he promised that with SpaceX he can transport humans to Mars by 2028. Not gonna happen. No, I don't believe it. Anyway, because they escape the difficult questions, they cannot develop a healthy self-esteem. They intend to show someone who helps out. Well, in 2018 there was a flooded sea cave in Thailand where children got stranded inside the cave. He offered help. However, the divers attempted to convince him that the submarine he offered would not be able to maneuver through the caves. He tried to push his idea that he would provide the final solution, and eventually the divers thought that the whole idea of Musk helping out with an electric submarine was just a publicity stunt. Yes, he is pushy. Even when no one asks for his help, he offers this help. Recently we could see this when the hurricanes occurred in the United States recently. Now, there is a third element of escapism which is quite obvious, because these individuals cannot answer difficult questions of life. The biggest challenge for them is to develop their own religious ideas, what they believe in. And we cannot know what Musk believes in. One thing is sure, he claims to be cultural Christian. What this means is he chose Christianity because it is useful for the society. So, because it is useful, that's why he believes in it. It's not a healthy religious belief. It's just ridiculous. It is good for him personally, money-wise. He become accepted in society, but no. And also it can justify to have kids, but it's quite vague. Sorry, it's not gonna happen. But the reason why I'm talking about these issues is that he doesn't fulfill promises on time. He can be deceptive, is because he is appointed to lead the Department of Government Efficiency after the Trump election victory. And well, this will be an interesting exercise, especially when we think about what the Aspergers may also bring about. What are these? Well, like I said, these people lack a basic trust in others. Musk's managerial style is micromanagement. He might even claim that he is a nano-manager, but no, he is micromanaging everything, which means it's not gonna be effective in political roles. In political roles, people must understand that they should delegate tasks, otherwise they get flooded with issues. It's not gonna happen. And the other thing, former colleagues kept telling that Musk lacks a basic human understanding. Yes, he also expects long working weeks, 80 hours a week on average, which is okay, quite ridiculous, but anyway. It is also coming from his Asperger's. He doesn't trust people. It's that obvious. Now, and finally, I should say that Asperger's might come with hidden anger outbursts. There were examples for this too. In 2023, the Disney CEO Bob Iger announced that they would no longer advertise on Twitter or X. And after this announcement, Musk had an interview on stage, and he just said, okay, if anyone wanted to blackmail him with withdrawing advertising, they should just go F themselves. Yes. Now, it's hard to understand why he said that, but yeah, internally there was a strong anger fueling this disgusting sentence. And well, when he gets into government, I don't want to work for him, that's for sure, and I already feel sorry for his employees, his colleagues, because it's gonna be a nightmare. Now, oddly enough, because he wants to show himself as someone who helps, he bought out Twitter or X, and he wants to implement that into a free speech platform, and he claims to be a free speech absolutist. Now, when it comes to Israel, he redefined the rules, and he mentioned that anyone who might imply in any comment that Israel should be stopped, or there might be violence against Jews, those accounts would be suspended. Now, free speech absolutism defined by Musk personally. What this is Musk becoming a tyrant to define free speech. Okay, he might just be reserved for Twitter, but still, it doesn't look good. Anyway, in politics, if he has an anger outburst, he would be expelled and excommunicated out quite quickly. And I said, Asperger's comes with the feeling of not being loved. Now, it seems karma, it seems some sort of justice made in the process. He will be responsible to cut government spending. Now, anyone who understands the operations of governments understand that resources are key, and in every budget, when they come to budgeting, various ministers would fight for resources. And if it would be Musk who decides what to cut and what to keep, you can imagine that how his colleague would feel towards him. So actually he creates these situations. And well, the myth and the possibly unfulfillable promises are already apparent. The Department of Government Efficiency will be co-led. It's not gonna be only Musk who leads the department. Vivek Ramaswamy will be his partner. Now, we have one ministry, one department that is entitled and designed to create efficiency within government. And it already has 2 ministers. Now, how efficient will that be? Okay, this is the irony for closing. Expect unfulfilled promises that leads to disappointment eventually. By 2026, 2027, we will see the cracks in the next Trump government. I hope you enjoy this, and see you in the next one.